If everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and welcome. We are so pleased to have quite a few people here tonight. We're especially proud anytime we have students in the audience. So thank you for coming out. Are there any changes, amendments, additions, or deletions to our agenda tonight?
No, ma'am.
None from the board. I do have one to note. Wait, I do not have any tonight. I take that back. There were no additions or changes.
Okay, can we have approval of the minutes, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we approve the minutes. All those in favor, let it be known by a statement of aye.
Aye.
5-0, unanimous. We're very pleased tonight. We have Mr. Hogan in the audience, our district athletic director, and I believe he has some young people that we're anxious to meet. Mr. Hogan?
Good evening, Superintendent, School Board, and parents. Tonight, we recognize the 1A State Championship Leesburg bowling team. They are now our multiple state champions since they've won the state championship in recent years prior. I'm going to start off by reading Coach Mike Urban and Emily Bailey's comments and recap of the season, and then we'll give the students their medals. And these are the comments of the coaches. Through many hours of practice and dedication, our boys had one goal in mind at the start of the season. We practiced and began to build a team from the ground up. Two of the boys on this team also were part of the 2021 state championship team. Knowing that hard work, dedication, and having a team that would work together through adversity is what it takes to win. We as coaches constantly reminded the kids of their bigger goal in their bowling. Having seen what the boys could do in their first practice, Coach Mike texted the athletic director, Spencer Hay, and told him that they had a shot at winning the state championship again. From the moment the plan was put into action, we began our season as we finished last by dominating the opponents. Once the team took their first loss is when reality sank in and they got down to business. We continued our dominant bowling through the district, suffered only 2 losses, one to Lake Minneola and one to South Lake. Was all the motivation these boys needed. We went into districts with one goal in mind, and we came out as district champions. All was not done at that point. The hard work was just beginning. The boys had a lot to do mentally and physically to prepare for the very next week and bowling in the FHSA state championship. We had several practices and got into the frame of mind needed to win, and that is what we did. We walked in with confidence and jacket pride. We made sure the other teams talked about us as a contender from the very first match. The boys bowled well and stuck together, helping each other along the way. Now, we did have a few hiccups and a few moments where they weren't all together in perfect harmony, but in the end, these boys knew they could count on each other and their coaches. Their final match pitted them against Circle Christian Centurions, which oddly enough was a team that knocked them out last year in 2022. Circle Christian took the first 2 games and led 2-0. After a brief talk and meeting with the coaches, we came back to win the last 3 games and become state champions again. Round of applause. So I'll announce the members of the state championship team. First, we'll start with Mason Harding. Jackson Whitney.
He's coming back.
Tristan Whitney. Liam Pruitt. Landon Keister. Gavin Foster. Noah Cook. Samuel Fleury. Daniel Grabuzik. And Hayden Stubbe. And also want to make sure we acknowledge Coach Emily Bailey and Mike Urban for the great job that they both did this year.
Mr. Hogan, we'd like to invite.
Yes, if the team could line up and go behind and meet all of the. Great job, guys.
Congratulations. 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 That's a lot of bling. Congratulations. 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 Thank you, sir. We'll ask. Can we see from the team by a show of hands, how many of you will be back next year? Because we're counting on you returning here. So you guys have done this twice now. You know, that means that we're expecting this a third time, so don't disappoint us. Again, congratulations. We're very proud of you.
And Madam Chair, I might add, we've done this 5 times in 7 years at Leesburg High School, so we're gonna keep them rolling. So, go Jackets!
I'd like to acknowledge their principal in the back. He's always there to support, so it's always nice to have him here. Okay, we're ready for public input. I have 2 cards. Is there anyone who forgot to turn in their card? If not, Mrs. Cronin.
Good evening. I hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. I meant to mention this last time I was up. I don't know if any of you saw Channel 6 News a couple of weeks ago, where they had a parent was complaining and went to them for her student attends a school in Orange County for the after-school and before-school care. Most of the districts, Channel 6 ended up doing research on the after-school care programs, and it seems like all of the districts that outsource their after-school care, their staff is not trained to give students EpiPens. So they did mention Lake County on there, that we have trained staff to give those EpiPens, and that, it's something that's a good safety thing for the students. So the other thing I would just want to mention, which I know you already know, that bus drivers work and struggle every day to get students back and forth to school. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Banks?
Banks Helfrich, former Lake County Soil Water Conservation District Chairperson, chairperson, and current candidate, State House District 25, independent farmer, 9100 Sam's Lake Road, Claremont, the Clay Road District, chairwoman, Madam Superintendent, board, distinguished guests, 3 words: keep Lake beautiful. Keep Lake Beautiful is actually a committee sanctioned by the county commissioners of Lake County. I have the honor of actually being a member of Keep Lake Beautiful, put on that board, or that committee, by Commissioner Parks. And we do just that. We work on keeping Lake beautiful. I don't know if you saw the recycling bin as you walk in. Keep Lake Beautiful, recycle. We bring awareness to finding ways to keep Lake beautiful by putting in gardens, native gardens, butterfly gardens, sometimes even vegetable gardens. There are other organizations within Lake County which do similar things. Lake County Conservation Council, which is a group of concerned citizens whose purpose is to keep Lake beautiful and also to preserve and to conserve land in Lake County. There's also Take a Stand for Rural Land. It's a group of concerned, mainly agriculture owners, whose purpose is to keep Lake beautiful by protecting our rural lands here in Lake County. There's also America in Bloom, which town of Astatula and city of Groveland are members of, and it's a national organization to keep the area beautiful, keep Lake beautiful in this situation. There's also in the city of Groveland strategic board, eco-agrarian lifestyle committee, which I am a member of. And it is also there to keep Lake beautiful. If you haven't noticed, keep Lake beautiful is the theme of what I'm talking about today. As a sustainable farmer, a teacher of sustainability, and an independent farmer, that is also my objective, to keep Lake beautiful, to educate people of all ages on how to be sustainable, how to grow their own foods, how to find ways to, shall I say it again? Keep Lake beautiful. On the farm, it's called Here on the Farm, we have farm tours second Saturday of every month. Anyone is invited, any and everyone are invited to participate, to come, all ages. We've had some as young as a year and a half. We lost them. No, we did not lose them. We found them. But our objective is to bring people here to the farm to learn about keeping Lake beautiful. Madam Chairwoman and Madam Superintendent, thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Banks Helfrich, independent farmer, and I'm here speaking with you because I care. May you all be blessed. Thank you.
Thank you. We now are going to hear from the infamous Jacob Whitman. He's the chairman of our of the Superintendent Student Advisory Committee, and he's going to give us a report. Jacob?
I'm infamous now. All right.
Yes, you are.
That's something very important to me. Hello, all. I am Jacob Whitman. I am the chairperson of the Superintendent's Student Advisory Council. I know it rolls off the tongue eventually. Just a little quick update of what the council has been doing recently. One of the big things we've been trying to work on and trying to get going in Lake County is our SGA scholarship. We're trying to work out the kinks. We're working out with community members all around Lake County. The superintendent has been working so hard to help us get this going. And it'll be going to SGA members, of course, and it'll be selected out of our student bodies around Lake County. Each school that's part of Lake County and high school would select a student, and they would be receiving those scholarships. And we're working supremely hard. And again, I know I've already said this, but our superintendent works so hard. And the reason why we create this scholarship is so we can create opportunities for the students that help out our community the most. So, also, I'd like to give a big, warm welcome to the Superintendent Student Advisory Council Vice Chair, Avery Hooper. So everybody give her a big round of applause. Avery, stand up. You gotta stand up. You gotta stand up. Stand up, yep. Yeah, okay. Anyway, you sit down. So basically, when I'm not here and I am not able to attend, Avery will be in my place speaking and, just entertaining you all as I hopefully do. Anyway, thank you. And as always, go Jackets and go Lake County.
Thank you, Jacob. Now we'll hear from our attorney, Mr. Myers.
Yep, only update I have right now is we have a hearing scheduled for next Wednesday in Tallahassee in person on the Parnell federal lawsuit for the Antango book. So I'll give you an update as soon as we're done with that, and hopefully there's good news.
Unfinished business?
There's none.
I see none. New business, Madam Superintendent?
I recommend approval of the consent agenda items 8.01 to 10.03.
So moved.
Second.
It has been properly moved in second. We are now ready for voting. All those in favor, please say so by aye.
Aye.
5-0, it passes. Mr. Myers, now we have a public hearing, I believe.
Yes, and we have one comment card for one of them, so I'll pull that one separate. So this is now a public hearing for final approval of policies 0151, organization meeting, 0172, visitation of schools by individual school board members and legislators, 5772, weapons and firearms, 7217, weapons, 8405, school safety and security, and 8510, wellness. Is there anyone here who'd like to speak to any of those policies? Please come forward now. And here, seeing none, I find it appropriate to close the public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we voting tonight?
Need a motion to, yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a recommendation that we, for final approval of the policies as presented.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. We're now ready to vote. All those in favor, let it be known by signal of aye. 5-0 passes.
All right, this is a public hearing for final approval of policy 6840, audit selection committee. I understand we have one commenter. Mr. Yoakum, would you like to come forward?
Vance Yoakum, Tavares. Yes, as a former chair and a member of the audit committee, I wanted to comment on this. I found that it was not presented either to the audit committee or to Tom Mock, the internal audit chair. And so it's kind of like a surprise, just found it buried in the bottom of the policies here. And so I sent all of you, and I gave you a printed copy of my comments on this. The main things that in my 3 minutes that I can cover here is that you have a lot of requirements in here for things that the audit committee members are supposed to do, and yet you have very vague requirements for what their background should be. And so I gave you a printed document that says that you really do need to specify at least 3 of the 5 people have to have a CPA or CIA, because this is a technical advisory committee, and if you're not going to bring in people that even have that kind of background, and we have 2 that do not, we have one that is in a close field of anti-corruption and wire anti-money laundering and things, and that's a pretty good connection. But we have 2 that do not have that background. And so then I lead into that and say, really, we should not have anybody that does not have a CPA or CIA that is a chair or vice chair of the committee, because among other things, they sit down and they help develop risk analysis. They develop and evaluate what's in the audit report with the audit chair, with Tom Mock, and they need to have professional expertise. We really do need people with professional expertise on that. And I'm worried that you're going to have a situation where 2, maybe 3 of you are not going to get that professional feedback because your appointees do not have that background. And then I do go into that they ought to have a management experience, probably at least a $500 million organization. You're almost $1 billion. You need to recognize that you have situations that could go bad. I personally don't think that there's a huge amount of risk because of the superintendent and the staff that she's brought in. They're very good, but there are areas that are outside the jurisdiction of the finance department, and that's what they call silos. And they're like grants, or you can have somebody that's not complying with laws. We don't even have the auditors. We only got one auditor to review compliance. And yet you have in here a whole list of responsibilities, which is impossible for the audit director or the audit committee to evaluate. And so I do recommend that you do get a paid administrative assistant like we used to have for the audit department, and also that you have at least one more senior level auditor involved. I mean beeper. So those are my recommendations. I think that maybe you ought to take this and reword it or at least discuss it. I do give you a couple alternatives, but if you have somebody that is the chair or vice chair, I'm just telling you, I don't consider it to be a professional advisory committee then, okay?
Thank you.
But because the staff does such a stellar job, I'm not too worried. But you have to have people with professional perspective to be able to recognize when there are issues that they need to support the audit director, and that's what you need.
Thank you. We appreciate your comments.
Is it accurate that the audit committee themselves did not see the policy? Is that accurate? It is accurate. I'd like to table this until they have an opportunity to review it.
So I don't think the policy is new. This is a change to the policy that removes the vice chair from the committee because that would have created a sunshine issue.
But if we're going to open it up for change, then I think the audit committee should look at it. Even with that minor change, I know the policy's there, but if they have input that maybe should come to the board or maybe enhance the policy, why not let them look at it before we vote on it? So I move that we table it for right now.
Is there a second?
I'll second that for discussion.
Okay.
So I guess since we're in discussion, I would say since we're now looking at final approval, we can go ahead and finally approve tonight, so that way we clear up the sunshine issues that we have, because currently as our policy is, as the superintendent being an ex officio member of the committee, she can't talk to any other members of the committee, including the vice chair would be a member of the committee, so that would complicate things where the two of them can't have audit discussions. Or the vice chair being a member of the committee can't have discussions with his own appointee, because that would be a sunshine issue. So I think that that's what this policy revision attempts to do, is just clear that, so that way they're no longer non-voting members of the committee. I'm not opposed to having the audit committee revisit that, but since we're on final approval of this, I would say just go ahead and finally approve, so that way we clear up that issue, and then the audit committee can take a look at next steps. Because otherwise, we reset the process back to 28 days, and for the next number of meetings.
Yeah, I would echo a lot of Mr. Dodd's comments. I think the only substantive change that I see on here is just adding the ability to attend the meetings via Zoom or a virtual link. I mean, the rest just appears to be cleanup language to what Mr. Dodd just laid out. I think Vance brings up some good points. I think the other issue is always finding people willing and qualified to serve on this committee. So if you've got a list of folks, Vance, I found a good one eventually. But if you've got other suggestions that have more experience, I think those are worth bringing to the table. But I don't think that changes anything that's laid out in the policy. And I think as we move forward with Mr. Mock's retirement and into the future of that role, I think those other situations come back up for discussion, but I don't see any reason to delay this policy tonight
That's
either.
more or less the ground. I mean, that's absolutely correct. With Mr. Mock retiring,
Yeah.
this is an opportunity to really review what that policy and what that position looks like.
Yep.
So if we approve this tonight to clear up the sunshine issue that you're concerned about, then do we bring it back to the audit committee? I'm totally good with that too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so can I take back my?
We'll vote.
We'll go ahead and vote.
Okay, it was moved and properly second that we consider tabling this issue. We are now ready to vote. All those in favor of tabling show by saying a sign of aye. Okay. All those opposed?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0 opposition. It loses.
All right, is there anyone else here who'd like to speak to this policy? And seeing on now, I feel appropriate to close the public hearing.
I recommend final approval of the Audit Selection Committee policy with the understanding that we will bring it back once it is reviewed by our audit committee and staff input, as well as board input on any revisions to this policy in the future.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Are we ready to vote? All those in favor, please let it be known by a sign of aye.
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 5-0 passes.
Did we get a motion on second before that? No, I didn't think so. Okay.
I'm sorry?
They're shaking their heads. We didn't get a motion and a second on that.
Okay.
So we just need
We go back. Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Superintendent's recommendation.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we move ahead with approving the final vote on this policy tonight. All those in favor, let it be known by a usual sign.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0 passes. We are now ready for the superintendent's report.
Well, I hope that everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And we are now in that few-week stretch here before the next holiday that I know we're all looking forward to, but we know it's a busy time of year. One of the opportunities that you're going to have, and I know Mr. Mathias needs to get this on his calendar because he's there every year, and that is the partnership that we have with Lake Square Mall, who has been hosting the Festival of Trees every year. And I know he goes and does the, I don't know what you do. You have to tell us what all you do there. The celebration and recognition of all the hard work that our students put into decorating those trees every year. But this year we have a twist. So we're once again partnering with the Lake Square Mall through the Education Foundation. It's a new initiative called Ringing in the Wreaths. I can say that. In the past, as I said, with the Festival of Trees, they have decided that they're going to do something different. So they're changing it up for schools to be decorating holiday wreaths instead of the trees. And the wreaths will be available for bidding starting next week. So go by the mall and bid on your wreath. Make a lovely gift for someone or something to decorate your own home with. And again, the proceeds will go right back into our schools and our great art program. So I want to thank all of the students that have been decorating wreaths, and I know they're going to be beautiful, and I can't wait to go see them. And I know that you all will want to go get one. And then also, we had 2 letters of condolence that were sent since our last meeting. So condolences went to the family of Karina Colson. She is the mother of Carrie Hubbard, who is our senior HR specialist in our HR department. And to the family of Letitia Dennis. She is the wife of Jerry Dennis, our building automation technician, maintenance in our maintenance and operations department. So condolences to those families. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Mathias?
So I'll dovetail off. The bidding for the wreaths starts December the 4th and runs through the 8th. Typically, it's at 6 o'clock, I think, is the kickoff for the lighting of the Christmas tree. Don't hold me to that time, because I haven't got that confirmed. Have you got it? No?
No,
Okay.
I didn't get that. It's usually the Saturday.
Yeah, it's a Saturday. Which is the 4th. No, that'd be the 2nd. Huh. Well, then I guess they'll light the Christmas tree and then the bidding will start. It normally starts right after they do the Christmas lights. So needless to say, changing the Christmas tree to wreaths has certainly got us upside down on our timing. But we'll get back to y'all on that. Anyway, it's hard to believe it's already almost Christmas. And I hope everyone had a magnificent and blessed Thanksgiving. And as we get into the holiday spirit, let us all just be kind to each other. So that's it.
Mrs. Luke?
I will just reiterate that Thanksgiving and wishes and wish luck to everyone over the next couple of weeks. I know it was difficult for my family to adjust this morning to going back to work, and I know everybody's excited about the upcoming holiday, and there's lots of special events that are happening and sporting events. It's 'tis the season that's super busy. I also wanted to congratulate Mrs. Cunningham and Tyler on your appointment to chairman and vice chairman, and I apologize for not being here with you guys whenever you were elected to those roles, and congratulate Mr. Dodd on a term well served. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Dodd?
Yeah, so I'm just thinking about as we're gearing up into those final few weeks of the semester, leading into the holidays. If you happen to be out there as a volunteer, this is a great opportunity to reach out to your kid's teacher and find out if there's some fun event that you can come participate in. On Friday before the break, I unfortunately had to miss our groundbreaking there, but I saw some wonderful photos. But I did get to spend some time in a kindergarten classroom enjoying some fall activities. And anyways, it was quite refreshing to step back into the classroom for a few minutes and enjoy that. So it's a great time, well spent with your kids. So a little PSA, go out and do a little volunteer work. Your teachers will appreciate that. So will your kids.
Mr. Brandyberg?
Ditto the Thanksgiving and the kindness. Had a couple things to mention. Mr. Matthias, Ms. Cunningham, myself, and the superintendent had the honor of attending the essay reception last week here at the school district office. Don Marks and a group of citizens put on an essay contest every year throughout Lake County schools, and they added Lake Sumter State College into it this year. And the topic was around public service and ethics, and what our students think about being involved at every level of local government. And they take those essay winners up to Tallahassee during session, which is December this year, to meet their legislatures, see how it all works, and get involved in the process. So I just want to thank them for all that they continue to do there. And then, as Mr. Dodd mentioned, we had the groundbreaking ceremony for Fruitland Park Elementary week before last. Very excited for that project. Want to give a shout out to Kelly Randall, Dave Parker, John Carr, and the team over in facilities and growth planning for all they continue to do to make those projects happen. Those prices keep getting higher and higher, and the way they make those numbers work and continue to try to keep up with the demand the best we can is truly remarkable. So thank you guys for what you do. That's all I've got.
I would just like to remind my esteemed colleagues of their ethics requirement approaching. Please do not forget about that. We need to have that done by December 1st. Also, I'd like to, I'd also like to offer a congratulations to our CFO and the finance director, Mrs. Cornegie, and I attended the exit audit with the Auditor General's Department. I believe it was last week or a week before last. But as usual, they did a great job and just makes everything flow smoother. So we certainly do appreciate you. And I don't have anything else. So if we're all good, can I have a motion, please, so that we can adjourn?
So moved. So moved.
It's been moved and properly second. Meeting is adjourned.